Yeah, I guess, but that's also, you know, that's the mark of a side that's eager to learn and eager to improve. I mean, they didn't play super well for that entire game. There's certainly plenty of room to work on, and that's the joy when you do get a big win, that you can still work on some stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's the important thing. I think Clive Woodward said it, and I've said it before, when you win, that's the time you go to the classroom. Why did we win? So we are underway. Onkaparinga wearing the red and black hoops will be attacking the left of your screen. Woodville in the green and yellow hoops will be attacking the right of your screen, and we go to a scrum very, very early. Great high restart.
You can almost see the smile on Price, can't you? You can see the smile on his face. That first scrum, let's get into it.
Well, he got quite upset with me because I talked about his scrummaging technique. He got quite upset with me because I said he was very experienced and knew what he was doing and used all the tricks in the book. But he's coming up against Liam Smith today. Normally we see him at 2, so it'll be an interesting battle. He's on his best behaviour, though, I think, today. And absolutely textbook perfect. And John Roast with the start, and then Maxie will get away. They talked about it. He puts the ball to boot. He's not a natural centre. How's the bounce? Just didn't work out for them. How's the start for Woodville?
When you want a job done right, you're sending a forward, mate.
We are still waiting the team sheet for Woodville, so I only know him as Max at the moment. We'll get his surname in a minute, as Onkaparinga will clear their lines.
If you walk up to him, it's always it's easy.
He's a big boy. He's not got the blue headgear this week, which he had last time we saw him, which made him easily identifiable, but I think he's possibly the biggest person wearing a back shirt today, which will help us out. It's an interesting choice. Certainly, when we saw him last week, big, strong runner. Defensively in the tight, he was good. It'd be interesting to see how he goes with an open field. Just trying to see who's going to be matching up against him. Roast again. Played so well in his cameo last week. He's been promoted into that starting role. Adcock, oh, very, very nearly. I like a lot about Lindsay Adcock, but when he looks at those big, wide cut passes, he does tend to telegraph them.
Being a forward, I wouldn't want to tell him how to do it, though. Far be it from me.
And I actually really like that midfield 3 setup from them. I think the longevity of a first 5 goes as long as you want, really. If all you're going to do is pass and catch and direct traffic, you can be there for a while, I think. Good scrum again, and great pressure from Doughty. Nice offload, though. We'll get the pressure off.
Covered well.
Lewis Adcock just takes it back on the angle. Little bit isolated, but did enough. Yeah, you can't have more than one go at it, unfortunately. It's Ryan Evans. Troy Doughty looks like he's got his game face on today.
Those gingers, mate, they're an angry breed.
He won't be happy that the sun's out in the middle of winter. So Woodville line-up. Had an armchair ride really last week. The Elizabeth line-out needs a lot of work. So it was an easy afternoon for them last week. This one's going to be different. Good start off the top. Just missed everybody. It's cleaned up by Lindsay Adcock.
Oh, that's what that's allowed.
That was big. We'll see whether we can get a replay. There's no afters on that one. I think there's just a slight, there's a penalty for in the side. We'll have a look at why and how that happened. Oh, I tell you.
Interesting.
The rule is you can't have the legs go above parallel, horizontal.
Didn't look malicious, but
I
they're
mean,
the sort of things you don't want the referee to have to make a decision on.
No, well, malicious doesn't come into it.
No,
It's
that's
a
true.
very hard and fast. Your legs go over parallel.
That is true.
And then what you do where the maliciousness comes into it. So it starts at a red card and then you talk it down.
Yeah.
But another lineup, first lineup was good. They went off the top. Gone again off the top. And again, that first pass puts them under pressure.
Forwards will be loving that.
I think next time the forwards might pull rank and look for a driving maul,
Yeah.
and they've turned it over because they've just got isolated in midfield. And these are the things that they're going to have to work through. Bluey will want all of this pressure in the first, 5.5 minutes.
Yeah.
And they're not going to come away with anything. And the reason they're not coming away with anything is just little mistakes.
Yeah. Nothing worse than self-inflicted wounds. It's a good kick.
Well, we talk about it constantly. You can't. There's just nowhere on the park you can give away penalties against Onkaparinga because they will punish you. McKinley with that massive left leg of his.
Haven't really had the ball yet, so I'm interested to see how they go with
Yeah.
some ball in play here, attacking side. Straight, surely. Got away with it. Well played. Sorry.
I know you're all right. And we'll just use that moment to explain that we have put the call out. We did put the call out to Onkaparinga. There is a microphone sat there waiting. Unfortunately, no, I become the least popular person because once I start walking around, people know I'm going to ask them to come on the TV. So I think he listened to you, though.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a Woodville scrum on their own 10-metre line. Again, it's solid. Jet Connor decides he wants a little bit of a run, and that's twice. He's obviously running a little bit too upright at the moment.
He's upset someone.
It is interesting. I think Liam Devine may have watched the coverage from the last one we did, where Onkaparinga really allowed Port Adelaide far too much time at the breakdown. They've done well to hold that one up, though.
Well,
He's come to play, is Mr. Devine, and we're off a little bit.
handbags at 10 paces.
Just don't throw anything silly. I was talking this afternoon, just see whether there's anything worth writing home about. Liam Devine, pick on someone your own age, Liam. It's a good finish from Roasty as well. I think he sold it as best as he could.
Put a bit of mayo on it.
Don't think there's any punches thrown. It's just a little bit of, firm and frank discussion between the two sets of forwards. But it is things like that, and Onkaparinga will just want to make sure that you've won them all. Don't then get a penalty against you for something silly.
Yeah, absolutely. Scrum.
Oh, big scrum from Woodville. Put Onkaparinga under a lot of pressure, and Doughty has to tidy it up, which he does. He gets away. Looked out onto that far side. Matt King, and it's a little bit tetchy. I was talking to John Finney beforehand, and speaking of tetchy, there was a little bit of feeling in your game.
Yeah, absolutely. Our boys, I mean, you're dealing with 16, 17, 18-year-old lads. One thing they've got in excess is testosterone.
Yep, and nowhere to put it.
Yeah, sometimes well-directed, sometimes not. But it makes for an entertaining spectacle, and they all shake hands at the end, don't
It's certainly looking like that is carrying on, because, of course, most of the Onkaparinga A grade were watching the under-18s, and the Woodville A grade were watching the under-18s, and there's a certain amount of club pride that's going to go into that.
Which is what makes local rugby such great fun.
Yeah.
Because we'll beat the living whatnot out of each other, and then we'll have a beer afterwards and we'll have a laugh about it.
Well, that's rugby the world over, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the greatest.
Good flat ball. Well, it's the first chance that we've had to have a look at Max in his new centre position. Smith will look for a way around the outside. Can't find one. Doughty to Devine, and Devine certainly has come to play today. Doughty again into midfield. Good hands across the back line and the step inside, and wow, that's a massive hit. It's Max Cargy is his surname. That's a big blindside hit. And there's just quite a bit going on and off the ball. Adam Takiri, nice out the back. Now big strong run. Didn't quite manage to get all of him, and Onkaparinga now will march towards the Woodville try line. Takiri again, makes good yardage. Doughty takes control. Looks like he's going to go to his pocket. Don't know who it is. Just trying to see who he's calling for. He's going to have a chat with his assistants as well. But there's certainly a little bit on this. Yeah. That's the young winger is going to find himself sitting down for 10 minutes. Sending him the wrong way. He's got to go all the way over there. Be an interesting choice here to see whether we can pick up. Oh, that's the one. That's Max Cargy mugging him from the blind side. Well, the question of whether he can defend in that midfield has been answered.
We know we can tackle.
Resoundingly so far. 10 minutes gone, still scoreless. Onkaparinga really with the first scoring opportunity of the game. They'll go to the back. Oh, just hung it up in front of Doughty. Did very well not to snatch at it. Now they're out again. Big, long, looping pass, taking advantage of the numbers.
Ooh, nice try.
Got it down. Matt King over on that far side will get the first points of the day.
And that's the difference, isn't it? You Woodville down there for 5 minutes, give up, you know, a couple of bad passes here and there. They give Onkas the opportunity to come out. They don't make the mistake. They score the try in the corner.
One short in the backs, but still shouldn't have allowed that to happen, you wouldn't have thought. Kick's not overly easy, but Nathan Evans was dialed in last time we saw them. So an interesting first 10 minutes. You would say the lion's share of possession has gone Woodville's way, and
Absolutely.
Onkaparinga have just snatched one.
Again, not making those mistakes. That's the difference at the moment, I would say.
Did you see the one of your doggy last week? Yeah. No way. Go on, Cass!
Enough out of you.
So
Security.
it's Rebecca Shelton again. She's not wearing her devil outfit this afternoon.
She's been drinking all day, people.
Responsibly. She's been responsible all day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they just ran out of numbers. I'm not entirely sure how. From a set piece, it's certainly something the Woodville coaching staff will want to look at. How do you end up with one over off a first phase? I get that you lost somebody on the backs, but he's the near side winger. There is Mr. Rowley, who's had a busy start to this one. It's like the olden days. They've only got one ball.
Yeah, waiting for the ball to come over the fence. Some hold music.
There we go. Oh, well, I don't know whether that one's allowed. It's not branded. It's been a fun day, and just to sort of add to that spring carnival attitude, there was a pickup game that happened between Onkaparinga and Woodville Juniors.
Yeah, someone come off with a blood nose.
There was no holds barred. Adcock trying to get up to get that one, didn't quite get there, and it'll be an Onkaparinga lineup. It's just one of those beautiful things that just happened organically, and the kids decided they wanted to play a full-on game against each other, and Yeah. I think it was like rugby when it was first invented. There was no real rules.
Nah. Rule of the jungle.
So they've taken the scrum, knocked on into touch, so they get the choice as we approach the 15-minute mark on the Wojtek scoreboard. Just the 5 points the difference. Again, Woodville getting a good shove on in the scrum. Out to McKinley. McKinley will look for territory because there is a big hole back there.
Oh, he's on. He is on. He
That
is
is-
motoring.
And he's going to get there first.
Oh.
I don't know who got boot to ball, but my word, Dominic Chappell.
Bay Sheffield style, that was.
Well, I think it was his first try when we saw them 2 weeks ago, and he really scored the try that broke Port Adelaide hearts.
Jet shoes, jet shoes.
Yes. I tell you what, I'm looking forward to seeing him take on young Joe from Brighton. That'll be a battle for the ages. Should we have a grand final day sprint like they did in?
Oh.
That'd be interesting. One each team puts somebody up.
Yeah. But just for front rows though.
Just for fun, yeah. Obviously, those who are playing in the grand final would have to be Barley. As there we see our first pick and drive of the year. And Onkaparinga will score it, and I think it's Haggis who comes up with it, Liam Smith. Big smile on his face. So Chappell forcing the defensive kick into touch. Oh, I tell you what. Done well to be allowed to keep going. I have to say, I felt that Woodville had sacked that. And Ryan Evans will have a good look at this one. And it's been quick, hasn't it? We haven't seen Woodville with much of the ball.
No, not since
That first sort of 5
5
to 7 minutes, really, and then Onkaparinga have changed their mind. I think if Woodville can get hold of the ball, and
Yeah, it's that natural ebb and flow of rugby. You know, you get moments when you don't have it. You got to work and get it back, and then make your hay when you've got the opportunity. And I don't think they did that.
I think they're going to have to work out what they're going to do with that back three as well, because they obviously cannot leave that much space behind at the moment on either side as well. I mean, Chappell,
Close.
Chappell, like you said, has got the jet shoes on, but certainly King didn't look like he was a slouch. I think almost going to, John Finney, unfortunately, he's just going to have to probably sit back and sweep a little bit more. You know, if they are going to work, they're almost going to have to go deep halves, to use an American football term. Adcock goes a little bit deeper this time. Doughty sits underneath it. Just fires it. He's done well to keep it in.
Kept it in. Oh,
no. It would have been fun.
Yeah, I would like to see John Finney in space. It's always fun to watch. Talking about jet shoes. The bloke's got brakes for most people don't have wheels.
He's he is getting on the more experienced side at the moment as John Finney, but a precocious talent. It's funny. I'll tell you the story at the next breakdown. As Onkaparinga go to 4 and off the top, Doughty into Evans. Evans will fire it out flat to McKinley. McKinley can't give it to Chappell. He has sold Chappell down the river.
Yeah, that ball hits his chest, he's gone.
Oh, McKinley wants that one back.
There's got to be beers in that, surely.
It might be one that gets seen more than once.
Yeah, there's penalties.
Onkaparinga. Because everything was good to that point. Evans, nice delay, and then a flat pass out the back to McKinley. And this is just training ground stuff, Kurt.
Yeah. As a former front rower, you got to love watching a backline move actually work for once. It looked really good, right up until the point that it didn't.
So I was watching your game and there was a 2-on-1 and he showed it, and went himself with a clear overlap, and as it walked around the back, I think I said to about 3 people he should have given it. The only person who disagreed with me was John Finney.
Yeah, that was young Kyle, our 5'8". He loves a run, back himself every time, which sometimes you love and sometimes you pull your hair out.
Yeah.
But, you know, give me a kid like that with passion and heart and wants to play every day of the week. We just got to direct it, channel it. That's the fun bit and frustrating bit.
Well, it just shows you the mindset of John Finney. Everybody else said, yeah, 2-on-1, you got to give it. John Finney was like, no, I'm going.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Where's the fun in that? There's no contracts in giving the ball, eh?
So Doughty again, another first phase move, Evans. They do the same on the other side. McKinley gets away again. Just about manages to get away from Cargie. Then we'll give it to King. King will beat one and go over. And that's going to hurt Woodville.
Too good. Too good.
First phase tries should not be allowed. And as we get ready for that one, we'll look at the fixtures for today. Brighton are taking on Elizabeth down at Brighton. Woodville, Onkaparinga here, which we are watching. Old Collegians are taking on South. That'll be an interesting one down at Tregenza Oval, which isn't quite ready, which is why we're not there today. And then Port Adelaide at Riverside Oval will be taking on Barossa. So interesting ones. As and when we get scores around it, we will find it. The ladder at the moment is interesting. Old Collegians sit on top, with Southern Suburbs in second, Brighton in third, and Woodville in fourth. And now that's all on plus minus because top 3 have all played 3, won 3. Woodville 2 and 1.
A couple of big wins against Uni and Elizabeth certainly bumped that number up.
But the percentage isn't going to count. Counts for league position, but if you end up on the same points, it goes on head-to-head, not percentage.
Okay.
Just to try and stop people inflating scores when they really don't need to.
Yeah.
This time the flags go up. It's a better kick.
Yellow cards back on.
So we're back to parity. But they've given up a lot.
We're just going to get some ball in the opposition half.
Well, yeah, I don't remember it. I mean, it's been kick-off. Onkaparinga have scored, and it's been kick-off, score, kick-off, score, kick-off, score 3 times. And they're going to get this one back as well. Doughty to Devine. Devine renews acquaintances with Roast. Just a little bit of a loose pass. Now they're away. Oh, referee, everyone wanted to see that.
No, I didn't.
That would have been David versus Goliath on this side as Cargie was patrolling across towards Chapel. Don't forget we are live and interactive, so if you've got any questions you can send them in, or if you want to just say hello to someone you can. Matt Connor is watching us again over in Victoria.
G'day, Matty.
Hello to Matty. That'll teach him for leaving the nicest state in Australia. Back we go again. They have got a proper back 3 now. Oh, don't let it bounce, and Chapel will get there. Now Chapel has got some space. Little show and go. Good following across by Adcock, but they've got numbers again. Oh, King was nearly the recipient of one of the easiest tries he will score. Ruled forward.
Happiest man on the planet right now is young Haydos. He should not have let that ball bounce.
No, do not let a rugby ball bounce.
Look at that.
Look at the acceleration. I have to say, well done to our camera operators for following it. He's going to be an exciting young man to watch, Dom Chapel.
Absolutely.
Because you can train as hard as you want, but if you've got raw pace,
yeah, can't teach speed.
You can't. Oh. Certainly one of those things that has a ceiling. Scrum's a bit messy, but we're allowed to go. Doughty looks to just
Offside.
chip it over the top, can't quite gather it back in. It's going to be knocked on first. Scrum to Woodville, and they took their early dominance.
It's 2 untidy scrums now. Hopefully we can
Yeah,
square it away.
Onkaparinga seem to have found a way around it. It's going to be a nice back and forward battle, I think, between Smith and Price,
Oh yeah, Tommy loves it.
who never does anything wrong in the front row.
Correct. At last, people accept it.
Matt King, first year of rugby, 2 meat pies already.
That'll do.
So is Matt King? He's the one who's the AFL player, isn't he?
I have no idea.
I think he's an AFL convert.
Oh yeah,
Never played before this year and has picked it up like a duck to water.
perfect. It's always good to hear people figuring it out. You know, Union's the superior game in all areas.
You can't win a World Cup in AFL, can you?
No, that is true. That is true. Well, if you're Australian, you can't win in the bloody rugby union either. So
Line
let's not
out
worry about that though.
to Onkaparinga, 5 metres out. Oh. It's another first phase. And you would think there would be a red flag run up the flagpole if they lose another first phase try. And there it is. And Smith will get his second. Front rowers finding themselves on a hat trick. They love it. But that's another first phase try.
It's just simple stuff, isn't it? You get the ball 5 metres out, you win your line out,
They haven't challenged it, so
you drive, you should score from there.
yeah.
But so many people don't because you make mistakes. So that's up credit to Onkers
Yep.
for
You've got
doing
to-
the simple things right.
Yeah, you've got to. The word's gone. Execute. There it is. Too easy. But you would accept. You kind of accept that driving more from a line up 5 metres out as a coach. You kind of accept that it's one of the most difficult things to defend.
It is. But you know it's coming.
You know it's coming. You have to, but it is incredibly difficult to deal with.
Yeah, for sure. So the name of the game is not to let them get there. And that's what the Woody boys got to do now.
Well, that's a penalty conceded on their own scrum, which has put them in that position. So. Kick is on its way.
Good leg.
Looks good from where I am.
well done.
Very, very good. And
Nice kick.
Nathan Evans. Ryan Evans is his brother. Nathan Evans has been absolutely on target. And speaking of on target, Martin Van Eyck, because I think if we remember the last time we were down at Onkaparinga's, the line-out just was a little bit wayward. How did Smith manage up? So he's managed to come around and steal it. Oh no, it's not Smith that scored it.
Who is that man?
It is Tito Matiaha.
Game goes on.
We've got one.
Ball.
Connor. First
we
time
go.
that Woodville have had the ball in their hands really since the 6-minute mark.
Come on, mate. You can't stay there. Ease up, soldier.
Pick and drive just to get a little bit of yardage. Try and speed it up a little bit, but we are going to go slow again. Price. He'll look open. Pushed backwards. Slow again. Roast, inside ball to Finney. Finney tries to find a way through, can't. Penalty. Side entry.
That was good. You know, simple play. Win the ball. Keep it tight. Just trying to swing that momentum back.
See that Adam Fitzgerald is watching. He's not here today after his hat-trick performance last week. And I'm just looking around to see whether, actually they're over on that side. I was looking around to see whether Ben White was here, because that would have been Battle of the Sparkles, but he's not here, so neither of them are here. So no Sparkles today at Gleneagles Reserve. Adcock
Attaboy.
finds his way towards midfield and disrupted by Onkaparinga, but a high one.
When it's at, are we?
Onkaparinga are just contesting a little bit more. A little tap and go. Contesting more at the breakdown than we saw at Port Adelaide, because they will allow you to play. Connor looking for some room. Arms out again. Offside. So that's 3 in a row in the red zone. So
We'd be getting close, wouldn't we, for a chat?
yeah, I wouldn't. I think he's just had a little chat.
Yeah.
Hasn't spoken to the captain, but he's just sort of given them the
informal.
Don't know whether I like this tap and go stuff. Either look for the line out or take a scrum. Got to make sure it comes back if you're going to do this. Price tries to roll around, runs right into Devine. I tell you what, it's 2. He's put his whistle to his mouth. It's 2 to the side, 2 from the side. That's 4 in the red zone. Yeah.
Obviously, give me a, what do you mean? What do you mean?
No, look, I think Ben Russell's unlucky in that it's him who gets the yellow, but it's 4 on the bounce.
Yeah, 4 in a minute. You've got to ask the question.
In the red zone.
Again, it's about not letting the referee have to make a decision.
Now they're a player down in the scrum. I just want someone from Woodville to take control of this and think. There's a long time to go in this game. Looks like there might be a blood, I think.
And Timmy. Number 9.
Just going to see Yestin come on.
Another one of the Welsh connection.
Well, they go for the line-out. Which isn't a terrible idea, because Onkaparinga have to match the numbers in the line-out, obviously. Well, do you have to match numbers if it's not your ball?
You can't be more, but you don't have to be the same.
No, so you can be less, so that'll work for him.
I hope that's right. That's what I tell my boys.
I don't think so. I don't think you're obligated to have the same number of if you're defending. You can't have more, I think you're right.
Yeah, correct.
So Harris to Roast. Roast with a little bit of a show and go.
The Benjamin Button of Woodville Rugby, John Roast.
He does look a lot younger than the last time I saw him. I'll give him that. Cargie. I think you need to give him a bit of a longer run-up, and it's been stolen. It just didn't go to Evans' hand. McKinley, can he get away?
He wants that winger. Look at him.
Someone's got to release. So Onkaparinga, I think, have settled it back into the pocket and kicked away. So Woodville will get the ball back. Scrappy after the win.
Yeah, young Max isn't the guy you want coming off a standing start. You want him off that long run, don't you?
Yeah, he just didn't really have the legs.
Yeah, the wind up.
And I think the interesting thing for him going from tight 5 to midfield is he doesn't get to pick and choose.
No.
Harris to Roast again and again. Roast decides to take on the line. He's grown in confidence as the young man. Harris off the knee to Adcock. Flat ball to Connor. Connor will just straighten. Met by a couple. 2 upright again, Jet.
He's down now, is he? Knees on
He's
the ground.
got that knee on the ground. Don't like it. Never liked it.
It's an interesting rule, isn't it?
Away again, and Finney with a little bit of space. What can he do?
Yeah.
Puts the ball on the boot.
Yes, you can.
Does very,
Yes,
very
you
well,
can.
John Finney. He continues the trend of scoring the first try for Woodville on the live screen.
He loves it.
I've asked him for 80 minutes today.
Didn't realise he was Amish, but it's good to see him score that try.
It is an interesting beard choice.
It is a cracker, isn't it?
From John Finney. Just the beard, no moustache, but that kick is weighted absolutely beautifully.
Yeah, that scores a try, raise a barn all on the same afternoon. Well done, John.
Pick on someone your own age, Roasty. Goes both So 24 points to 5 with around 5 minutes to go in this half after the kick, you would think.
Really needed that try.
I mean,
Some belief going into half time.
we don't have the technology yet. If anyone wants to put their hand up and run stats for us, I would be really interested to see the possession stats for this first half. I mean, it's almost 80-20. They've had no ball at all.
Outside of that first 5 and probably that last 3, I'd agree.
So Adcock with his first kick to goal. Looks good off the boot, just pulled it too much. And the other thing is as well, second half, Woodville are going to have that sun in their eyes. Good pick-up off his toes from the taller of the Adcocks. It's a wonderfully weighted kick from Finney. You can't understate how difficult that is.
Yeah, absolutely right. Full tilt.
Deep kick. Adcock underneath it. Has time to look and find what he wants to do.
Easy.
Again, we see Onkaparinga allow them to play. Now Cargi manages to get through. That's what you want from your big man at 12. Adcock again, through the no-look inside, and Adam Takiri snatches it out the air.
If you're going to throw a no-look pass, it's got to stick, doesn't it?
Doughty again. Evans pulls it out the back to McKinley. To Devine.
Here we go.
Devine wraps it around to McKinley, and I tell you what, that's about as close to a try-saving tackle as you can get there. Chappell just went without it. Might have heard the footsteps. So it'll be a Woodville scrum, line out, sorry.
No?
This tackle here from Lewis Adcock is a try-saver. Because if he got that ball away, bar Joe from Brighton, I don't think there's anyone quicker than young Dom Chappell. Roast. Little wrap around. Another penalty, not releasing.
There we go.
Might have seen it. We caught a little bit of it, and he's going to have a chat with him. Tito Matiaha. There is a little bit of feeling in this one.
Always need a bit of spice in a game, makes it interesting.
Well, that's what I was talking to John about before the game. Everyone's been really well behaved when we've played the live streams. We haven't had anything, certainly haven't had anything like we had in the under 18s.
Hey.
I think they're on the best behaviour. I think they know the cameras are on them, so they're all very well behaved.
Yeah. I heard Tom Price got a haircut just for the occasion. I don't want to tell tales out of school, that's what I heard.
Who got the haircut?
Tommy Price.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I know. Problem is, it's from the neck down. So you won't know, but we know.
It's also nice to see that Lindsay is wearing headgear to cover up the questionable haircut that he has.
He does have a shot.
I think that's been turned over, but it's turned over again, and Doughty has managed to snatch it away. Almost gets there. The Adcock brothers do enough. The offload to Devine. I don't think he got it down. I think it's gone over.
Knock on.
Knock on over the line. That is some last-ditch defence from the Wasps. The Adcock brothers
couldn't have got any closer.
Teaming up on Doughty. One high, one low.
Boom. Like they're fighting over the
Good offload from Troy. Just see who gets the touch on Devine. It's Cargi. Just hit him hard enough to dislodge the ball. So I think it's going to be a Woodville scrum. So Lewis Adcock certainly putting his hand up for tackle of the year. It's 2 that have been absolutely priceless from the young man. And as far as scrums go, this is about as big as it gets.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is something they really want to lock down, hold it tight.
They've lost a couple against the head. They certainly want to make sure that this one goes. They've got Lindsay Adcock back in the pocket.
If you're on, because you'd be foaming right now, like, come at it, let's go, give it to me.
And they are.
There we go.
Putting pressure on. Jet Connor, just to relieve a little bit of pressure. Don't hate that. Certainly as a number 10, that's what I'd be asking for. I don't want it straight away. Adcock sends it away. Gives them safety. And that will be half time. So we will take a break and we will come back with you for half number 2. So welcome back, second half. Only a 3-whistle. Try to get Woodville out of the changing rooms. They finally come. They've certainly played today on their own time. They have lights here, and they pay for the lights. I think they want to use them. But I was talking to our producer at the break. It's about 8 minutes, we reckon, out of that first half that Woodville had the ball.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
So
surprised.
not terrible when you consider how much ball they've had, but it is terrible considering how much ball they haven't had.
Absolutely, it's just they're not putting the pressure on Onkaparinga to make the mistakes that Woodville are making, and that's what it's all about. The exertion of pressure that'll turn games.
Sorry, Jade. I got past you.
Doughty to Devine, who starts the second half as he played in the first. Just, I don't think he expected that one, but gets it back eventually. And there's Cargi again. He likes that blindside hit, doesn't he, the big boy?
He is keen. He is keen.
Doughty out the back to Witten. Just throws it away in hope more than anything else. And McKinley bobbled it, and they've been saved by an offside penalty. You might be able to see in the background on the wide shot the Kia Picanto, which is making its way around the grounds this year, the little red hatchback over on that far side. It is a raffle prize. All of the proceeds from the raffle tickets will go to the state representative programs. Big thank you to Morn Team Kia. There it is. I fit in that thing.
No.
I do.
You do?
Yeah, I could fit in the driver's seat. I don't know whether I get in the back seat, but I fit in the driver's seat. I say that every week.
I would have thought they'd park it a little further away from the sideline, and then it kicks it, I reckon, near misses and whatnot.
Yeah, sold as seen, it will say on the receipt. May have some dents in it, but it's managed to dodge them so far this year. Got all the mod cons in it. Onkaparinga line-out. And again, you see there was a penalty just inside Onkaparinga's half, and they've been pushed all the way down into the 22. Doughty again to Evans. Devine, he did come from the sight screen. Off again. Out the back. Again, just that offload, and I have to say, I'm the first to praise Kurt McKinley. I love how he goes about his game, but his last pass today just hasn't been there.
Here we go, that scrum again. Let's see if we can get those
big-
hold it in. And
Yeah, big pressure scrum for them
Absolutely.
again in a very, very important position.
absolutely. If you're that Onka's front row right now, you are salivating. Because it's a no-risk situation for you. You can go hard. If you lose it, people expect you to. But if you're not, just get amongst it. Really put the hammer on. So our Woodville boys have really got a lockdown.
Yeah, I'm just looking for where Lindsay's set up. He's underneath the post, so probably expecting a wiper, and then out to that far side.
I reckon you're going to see Mad Max here.
Certainly an option, depends on what they've got.
Oh,
but
no,
Jet
we go
Connor
eight.
decides he wants to go. Does well, leaves it alone, and then we'll go again. Still now, Adcock has gone into the pocket.
That's a good kick.
Good clearance kick
Good
out
clearance. Look at that, just
towards
out.
halfway.
Oh, you almost have a go.
He
No.
thought about it. McKinley put the cue in the rack really early on that one. Sorry, Kingy. We're not going.
Young Chapel was keen, as only the young are, bless him.
Yeah. The experience of McKinley outranks both of them, I think.
Absolutely.
So a Woodville line-out just inside, an Onkaparinga line-out just inside the Woodville half. The line-out has been really good today from both sides.
Good throw.
Doughty looks to snipe through the middle. Was corralled well. Devine again puts his hand up to take that first run into midfield. Doughty to Evans. Out the back again to McKinley. This time he manages to shake away from Cargie. Another handling error.
Liam, loose. Here we go.
It's done well, gets them back to halfway, but again, body height is going to cause him all sorts of problems. Got out of jail, though, with the little knock-on.
Interesting call. Sometimes I would have let that go as, advantage over. So got away with it. Fair play.
Honestly, and I think people get bored of it, but I could talk to you about the advantage rule for a while. Sorry, the advantage law. We have laws, not rules in rugby. So it will be a Woodville scrum. They'll want to do something first phase. I think this is where you'll see your big Max Cargie.
Yes, that's what we want.
And he's flat, but he will get a chance to get some steam up.
The beautiful part of it is the Onkas boys want it. They want it too. They want to test themselves.
So he'll be head up against Thomas Selwood, but they've lost another one. That's a massive scrum from Onkaparinga. Devine can get away. Doughty, he will kick it over the top. How's the bounce? Haydos does a lot better that time. And again, just a little bit of afters.
Wingers and halfbacks. Are there any more annoying people on the planet? Probably not.
I think there's a certain number of second rowers who'll put their hand up for that. They just do it more quietly.
Yeah, well, this is it, isn't it? It's worth celebrating.
Dangerous position for this line-out. Off the top again, Doughty to Evans. And another handling error. Finney manages to pick it up. Can't get away, though. Still a little bit of broken field rugby, though. And they're going to come back for that knock-on again.
They've really got to sort this scrum out, Woodville.
They have left.
Really got to.
But they're being let off the hook. With the handling errors from Onkaparinga. You couldn't ask for a better rugby day, though.
No, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. The whole day has been just glorious sunshine. From the under 6 and 7s first thing this morning, right through to now. It's been a great day. And with all the craziness that's going on in the world, it's nice to have something normal, which is big blokes smashing a big bloke.
And big ladies doing it as
and
well.
Too, absolutely.
Women play today as well.
Absolutely.
Still one of the fastest growing sports in the world, women's rugby. And again, just a little bit. Everyone's waiting for that second whistle before they stop playing. We'll have a look and see whether we can get some half-time scores while we... He's had his work cut out for him today, is Mr. Rowley. Boys are doing their best to behave, but...
Sometimes you've got to step over the line and know exactly where it is, don't you?
And they are pushing it. Oh, my word. So half-time scores, I'll leave that one till last. 24 points to 5 here, obviously. 24 points to 5 also, all collisions taking on Southern Suburbs. 22 points to 7, Adelaide University are losing to Burnside. And Port Adelaide are winning 21 points to 0. But the score that we, probably need to look at as Evans gets ready, and I actually spoke to Andy Oliver and Elizabeth Player during the week, and their goal was just to get points on the board against Brighton, who have started off incredibly well this year. And at half-time, down at Brighton Oval, Evans sends that one through. Half-time at Brighton Oval, Elizabeth 0, Brighton 101.
That hurts. That hurts.
I mean, are we looking at a potential 200-point game?
I hope not. I hope not. Those Elizabeth
Elizabeth, they won't mind. They know where they are. They knew they were in for a big test. They have been absolutely decimated by the COVID-19 issues in Victoria, because the vast majority of their players have been called up and had to go over there.
Okay.
Another good challenge in the air, and they do get that first knock on. But that's something I'd like to keep my eye on.
Yeah, well.
If anybody is watching out in Facebook land, or what's the record score in South Australian rugby?
I remember the All Blacks put a score on South Australia. This is way back when, back in the old days, a fair old score. I think Peter Fitzsimons played for us that day. And yeah, that was a lot. But 104 at half time. I mean, I'm not even sure how you score 104 points with an opposition in front of you. But I know the Elizabeth boys will go hard because that's what they do.
Oh, big run from Ben Russell, and the offload goes to a Woodville hand. And Woodville held on by their fingertips. Adcock, nice and calm, clears it back to McKinley. He's going to look for options now, McKinley.
Here he goes. Here we go.
Now they're out onto that far side. Can they get it to Chappell? Yes, they can. Now he can put the foot down, steps inside, gets a little bit of space. Chappell with one to beat, and Finney does very, very well.
Made up for the missed tackle earlier. Did well. And the penalty, if you don't mind.
Wow.
But how good to see a young bloke in space, just running. That's what rugby's about.
The highest score in a Rugby World Cup match is 145-17.
Yeah, the Wallabies scored 142-0 here against Namibia in 2003. I remember that.
Yeah, I think that's one of them.
Had a lot of beers that day.
I think the record is fine. The record is 356-3. Unless
wow.
Brighton absolutely go some, that's the world record. Happened in Belgium.
Yeah, right. 300.
356.
Let's just crunch the numbers on that. I'm intrigued. What is that?
How many points a minute is that?
That's a try a minute in new money. Wow.
56 tries. Off the back. Oh, out the back.
Look out, party tricks.
I'll let it play. Oh! He's gone down again. I don't know whether anybody saw it. I'm not sure whether we caught it. A little bit more afters. Tito Matiaho is certainly... He hasn't taken a step back at any point. It'd be interesting to see whether anybody saw it. It'd be interesting to see whether we got it.
He's not moving. John's not one for... He's not one for playing it up. I mean, a little bit of a dive here and there, but nothing like that. So if he's copped a whack and staying down like that, you know he's copped something. Now whether it's unfair or not, I'm not saying, but forearm jolt.
Caught him with the arm. I'm not entirely sure there was a great amount of maliciousness in it, but I'd be surprised if he stays on.
I'm not sure how you swing an arm unmaliciously.
There's a yellow. And his conversation continuing. Yeah, he has caught him high. Certainly a yellow. Certainly deserves a yellow.
Yeah. Yep.
But I'm quite pleased it wasn't a punch.
No.
I think is the best that we can take from that.
Yeah. Something straight out of WWE, the old forearm jolt. Didn't hit him with a chair, it's all good.
Yeah. John sold it well. He's back up and going. I feel like if they can get Cargie free at this point, they might get something. Here he comes off the boundary line. Two of them get him. Good defence in midfield from Onkaparinga. Off they go again. Roast manages to get it away. Adcock finds a little bit of a gap. Isolated and turned over. Shouts of no fullback, which has been sorted out, but Messi again in the side. And it's getting a little bit messy and a little bit tetchy here at Gleneagles. Very, very nearly found his way through, did Lindsay Adcock, like he did last week, but he's all on his own, and Caleb Whitten can turn it over. Probably the easiest turnover that young man will have. As McKinley again will fire it towards this near side. I wouldn't be surprised, if we see Mr. Rowley just put this game on ice a little bit, just take a little bit more time setting scrums and lineouts and try and cool these big boys down.
Take the heat out of it. Get them out here in the afternoon sun, get a bit feisty.
We love it though.
Oh, absolutely.
Probably the only sport in the world where they will all share a drink afterwards.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it, isn't it?
Mucky. Takiri at the back does very, very well. Doughty again. To Devine is hit hard by Cargie. Offside.
Yeah.
Doughty wants to go. But that's what we were talking about. Mr. Rowley just slowing it down.
If you're wrong because you'd slow it down, you've got a man in the bin, you're in front. Take your time, kick it out, win your line out. It's a good leg too. That's a very good leg.
It's just...
That's return on investment, isn't it?
Yeah. A little grin from Karki as he runs away. He enjoyed that as much as we did. But a line-out in a very, very strong position again for Onkaparinga.
Got 10 out. Do they drive from 10? Do they back themselves in to get 10? Here we go.
Into the middle of the line, and that's a better drive from Woodville. Got it moving sideways. Gone again. No, they've got it out. It's a better line-out defence from Woodville. Away again. Short ball. McKinley again gets away. And he'll shake that tackle. McKinley with one to beat. McKinley will score. And if your last pass isn't working, Kurt, keep hold of it. Onkaparinga have been absolutely clinical in the red zone today.
Just doing the basics well, I think. Catch and pass. Apart from the odd drop ball here and there, but you can tell well drilled. Move the ball, hit the holes.
Beats one. Cargie that time couldn't get his blind side hit, and then Finney too high.
Yeah. I said, you do the basics well, you'll win more games of rugby than you'll lose, won't you?
Well,
That's what they've done.
That's been a change at first five. Trent Ormsby's gone into first five. Nathan Evans is still out there, so they've obviously just shifted someone around. So conversation-wise for Woodville, they just have to clean up that first up defence.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's the basics.
Look, it's the big hit from Cargie, and then as he comes away, just look at his face, and then the grin gets bigger as he comes away. There's that smile.
Right, that's right.
The smiling assassin in midfield. Take the little victories when you're behind on the scoreboard.
Absolutely, you take what you can get, don't you? And who knows, that hit here and there makes a result in a drop ball.
Certainly make people think about taking that first one.
Has it gone to 10, has it?
Might be
negative.
No. Adcock making sure that they would go back for the scrum. Takiri's sporting a fairly impressive haircut today. He's obviously put some work into his plait.
COVID lids. There's some ridiculously silly lids out there. From both sides, let's be fair.
Scrum at halfway. Split again, so Onkaparinga have the option to go left or right. They will go right to this near side. The wrap around to Doughty with the show and the go. Couldn't quite get away.
Knocked it on, didn't he? No? Yes.
Oh, Troy, do the simple things, Troy.
Just.
That for mine is a hat trick for King, if he gets this right. Nice little wrap around, the show and the go. Off he goes. Draw and give, Troy.
Yeah. Don't make simple things complicated, eh?
It's easy to say from here, though,
Of course
isn't
it is. That's why we're sitting here.
So there's a change in the front row, I think, because Tito Matiaha is still in the sin bin. Is that the first scrum we've had since?
I think it has, yeah.
Oh, there you go. He will be
Nice and
replaced by Brendan Harding. Just trying to see who they've taken off. It looks like they've taken off. They've taken off Dom Chappell. They have.
Harsh. Harsh.
Hopefully we'll see him come back.
Should have put him in the front row. Teach him a lesson.
I would pay money to see that. I'm not entirely sure Dom Chappell would agree with you. Just offside. He's not going to agree. Tell you that for free.
They rarely do.
Lewis Adcock has got involved in things that he doesn't really need to. On more than one occasion, and I felt he was onside as well on that one that they've missed. So McKinley, and they haven't got Chappell out there.
Yes.
Oh, jeez, look at King.
It's a good kick, though.
King through the middle has
What's John want to do?
decided to chase. Finney.
Chip and chase. Why wouldn't
Chip
you?
and chase, there's a little bit of space there, and they'll get it back. Roast.
Nah.
All on his own. Knocked on though.
Why wouldn't you chip inside your own 22?
I mean,
I just don't get it.
well, there's no. What are you going to say to him?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, no, it's far be it from me to tell a man what
Yeah,
to do.
you can't. I mean, he's just going to be John.
Yeah.
John Finney is John Finney. Where's the knock on?
Just
Oh, he just should have let him have it, Roasty. Anyway. The venerable Mr. Duff just in the background there, giving his opinion to the referee.
That would be encouraging words from Evan, no doubt.
He's full of encouragement for our officials.
Absolutely.
Reset that one again. So we'll reset that scrum.
Solid scrum, that's good.
Yeah, they've sorted themselves out at a handling error, and it will be a Woodville scrum in around midfield, so they'll have a big blind side to work with.
This is where you can use Big Max as a decoy. It's going to attract attention, you know that.
Shaping up to be a fairly interesting game down at Tregenza Oval. 31 points to 12 now. South's coming back into that one.
Nice.
Brighton have got themselves up to 120. Still nothing on the board for Elizabeth.
Well, if you're 104 points at half, I'd take another 20. That's good.
So Woodville scrum, which has fallen off a cliff after being dominant early on.
Here we go. That's a bit better.
Jet Connor has to go and pick it up and tidy it up. Takes on Devine. Adcock.
Here we go.
To Cargi.
Night.
Gets away from one and gets the offload away. Geez, they've got big twin tower runners in there.
Jeez, rather feed them for a week than a fortnight, wouldn't you?
Don't know whether I could afford to feed them for a day.
But that's what you've got to do. If you've got those big boys out there,
Well, and then get
straight,
people
run
running
hard.
off him. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. You attract attention. Then you have your mosquito fleet around the outside.
Yeah, again, a story that I told a lot. Josh Cromfeld in the 1995 World Cup scored a heap of tries, literally falling over the line after 6 people tried to take on Lomu.
That's it, exactly right.
So a line-out in a really, really strong position for Woodville.
How far out are we? You wouldn't think Onkers would
bang
contest
on
from
the
here.
5.
Louis straight up. Oh, they did compete. Nice work.
Well, can they get it moving forward now?
They're very high.
I tell you, if you're new to rugby or you've never seen rugby, welcome to quite possibly. Or if Doughty gets away with that and he doesn't, absolutely no way, Troy. It looks like Butterwood and mouth, but there is absolutely no way, Troy, that you would get away with that.
He's lucky not to get a yellow card there.
How he thinks that's okay, it's beyond me. Anyway, we're off and running again. Adcock looks for a little bit of a gap, can't quite get there. Need to recycle and recycle well. They do.
Young Owen from the under-18s there. Boom. Was it Owen? I think it was.
Another little pick and go. And another one. This time they get closer to the line again.
Oh no.
Patience is very much the word of the day at the moment. And as I say that, they snatch at it, but another penalty. Another penalty for offside. Cargy decides he wants to go. Good defence on the line from Onkaparinga. Not quite there. Then a reach out.
Try.
And the try.
Is that Paulie Hibbard?
Well, Paul Hibbard is.
Owen on top of him, I reckon. Is it?
It could be.
Is it?
It could be the Al fella.
Peel him up. Peel him up. Yes, it is.
How slow he's getting up, he would suggest it's old Hibbers. There he is. Have a smile, Paulie.
Father Time himself. What a weapon.
So how far out will he be by the end of the evening?
There'd be a John Finney chip kick in there, I'd wager, by that stage.
Here he comes, just drifting in from the outside.
Good on him.
Sees the smallest gap.
That's all you need.
Wriggles his way through.
Perfect.
Well done, Mr. Hibbard.
Again, so that beauty of rugby, stalwart of the club. Real good club man, good club family.
And
still putting in.
I have a feeling as well. He might have said to me on more than one occasion, "You never mention my name. You never talk about me." And I'm sure I've said to him, "Do something good, and I will.
Something good.
Do something good, and we'll talk about you." There you go, Paulie.
Here it is, 40 minutes to go. We're reaching Hibbard time. Here we go.
The kick stroked over. 32 points to 12. Lewis Adcock. Caleb Whitten at this point, if you ever think to yourself, I might give rugby a go.
Yeah.
Get yourself out into the backs. That's all I'll say.
Oh, it's good fun,
There is all sorts that goes on in the middle of those things.
Good fun. It's one of those things that only the boys up front will understand the joy of it all.
Deep kick again. Adcock, as he normally does, will find himself underneath it. Beats the first one. Looks for a little bit of space. Gets good yardage going forward. Adcock, Cargy. I really don't actually want to see him ship it.
Nah.
I don't, with all due respect to him, I don't trust him. Just take it, die with it, recycle it.
Yeah. Well, he's a forward after all.
Yeah.
That's what you do, isn't it?
There he goes. Proves us all wrong. Actually was let down by his halfback.
Bloody backs, mate, I tell you.
Well, he's neither nor. The number 9. He's not a back. He's not a forward.
Nah, that's right. That's right. No one claims him.
Nobody wants
The
him.
red-headed stepchild of rugby. Bless him.
When you split at training and the number 9 has to stand in the middle. And No, you can have him for this. You have him for your lineups. We're all right.
What do you want me, coach? Just get away from me.
He gets hit hard for his troubles as well.
Too. Oh, here we go. Big scrum. Let's go.
But Onkaparinga really shored up their scrummaging today.
It's going to go.
It ended up in Woodville feet. I don't know how.
They got away with that, I think.
How legally it ended up there. We'll just reset that, I think.
Yeah, call it even.
I want to talk about. Those two, I think. Those two will enjoy each other's company through 80 minutes, you would think.
Absolutely.
That one comes out, and it's come out Woodville's way. Cargy. Oh, he puts the ball to boot.
Jesus.
I'm not entirely sure that was the best decision.
been on YouTube looking at 12 play
Yeah.
during the week.
This is what backs do. I know this is what backs do. I've seen them do it.
Yeah.
Onkaparinga again. Now we'll come to this near side. Again, Finney goes too high. Gets it to Takiri. Just takes it on. One more. Ormsby, flat ball. Nice little offload as well. Ormsby, oh, great flat ball. Just enough. Got a hold of him. Doughty, little in and out. Manages to shake away across the cut ball. Last ball again. Forward and knocked on. So another one as we approach 11 minutes to go. Jesus, the second half has absolutely flown by.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ock's almost been their own worst enemy here this last little bit. Just those last pass, going a bit harder rather than just set it up and go again.
I tell you what, if that last ball had gone to hands, if the handling had just been a little bit better today, they certainly would be in a lot more comfortable position than they are. They are in a fairly comfortable position with 10 minutes to go on the Wojtek scoreboard.
Yep, they certainly are. And there's nothing, there's nothing to suggest they're going to fall away here. But like you say, if it's those little things and you don't necessarily need them now, but when you play those bigger clubs, you play your Brightons, your Burnsides and things like that, that's when you do need them to stick. So that's when you want to work on it now, when you have the opportunity to do it in a game situation.
I think if you count them up and those that were actual clear-cut try-scoring chances, it's got to be 5 or 6 of them.
There'll be absolutely. There'll be at least 3 or 4 in there where the last pass didn't go to hand or wasn't. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
bit of jibber jabber.
Little bit of talk.
Little chat.
So it turns the short arm into a straight arm.
I don't know. Those uncouth boys.
Coach killers.
Absolutely. There is penalties. There are sprints in that. 400s.
And I have to say, because Tommy was upset with me, we have ticked over 70 minutes and not one penalty against Tom in the scrum.
No.
And I will say this, Tom, just shows what you can do when you put your mind to it. Good, quick line up. Has to go down and get it.
Here we go.
Oh, Cargy. Now he's a definite back.
Yeah.
Trying to hold him up, but he does get down eventually. But the world's biggest knock on from Cargy.
Yeah, you weren't getting away with that, right?
Yeah, you can get the membership card to the Backs Club now. When you get, it's when you get those looks from the front rowers as they wander over, you know you've messed up.
Absolutely, that little sideways glance, that's all you need. Not a word spoken, just a look.
We worked so hard to get you that ball and you give it back straight away. This is why you can't have nice things.
Exactly right. This is why we say 10-man rugby all day, every day. Sun shining or not. You can't be trusted. If we can't send one of our own out there to be trusted, well,
I know, when you did. Look, he's done over an hour in a number 12 shirt. He's decided he'll introduce himself as a centre now.
I appreciate he's still taped up the ears, though. That's what I like.
He's a centre who plays second row every now and again.
Yeah, exactly right. Radiki Samo of local rugby.
Ball's out, and Doughty does well to tidy it up. A little bit over the shoulder, but keeping going.
Oof. Make those tackles stick, boys.
Like a greased pig in there at the moment, Doughty. No one could get hold of him. Oh, I tell you what.
Louis was off the long run.
I was going to, but...
That was kill or cure time. He wanted to have a go.
And then inside, out in the side, but I tell you what, I think he was onside. He's timed that absolutely perfectly, Adcock.
Sometimes the referee can't believe you're that well timed.
No, and that's, normally I would completely agree with you, but that time I think he's timed it absolutely perfectly. It's a good shot as well from Adcock. Well, so he has done him for offside, and I think that is one of those ones where it's just you can't get there that quick, but
No.
I think he did.
He did. He just timed it just right.
I think he timed it absolutely perfectly. Ormsby to McKinley. Steps out of another tackle. Now he gets the offload away to Devine. Inside the 5 again. Excellent work from the Woodville defence. Couldn't quite get there. Takiri will get there.
The first phase of Onkaparinga has been outstanding all day, especially in this attacking 22, attacking 40. They have just been clinical, is the word. They hit they know their passes, they know their move, they hit it, and then it's up to whether or not Woodville can make the tackle or not. And sadly for us today, it hasn't been enough first up tackling, but they have really stuck to it and done really well. So fair play to Onkers in that sense.
Adam Takiri, who joins the select club of people who've been on Spacequake Sports on both sides of the camera. So Doughty will take over the kicking duty. I'm looking. I don't think Dom Chappell's come back on.
I was just looking at the same thing. That's a travesty. What the hell? So there's a change.org petition we can set up like real quick.
Give him the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm just having a look. I don't know whether they've changed, but no, Mr. King's still out there, so he's still on a hat trick as Mr. King. 37 points to 12 with 5 minutes to go.
Well,
Doughty will stroke that one through.
27 points to the good. Let the young man on. Let him run.
I think he might be done. Speaking of being done, Liam Devine is.
He's
Put a shift in. He certainly has put a shift in.
Bugs me to say, but he's played really well. Doesn't really bug me. He has played well. Fair play to him.
So another restart for Woodville. Driven deep this time. Doughty will stand underneath it. Probably just look to clear it, which he does. Finney, does he want to go?
Oh, Haydos
he
is looking.
Thought about it.
Haydos is looking, going, no.
No. Someone needs to have a word with Haydos. That's the point that you just turn your back on, John.
Exactly
Because
right.
you can't trust him.
Exactly right. Surprised you didn't kick it to him.
Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news from Brighton Oval. Brighton 132, Elizabeth 5.
You beauty.
Congratulations, Elizabeth. We continue the streak.
Cheers, we are Elizabeth.
Nobody
Nice
has been whitewashed at all this year.
Good on you, boys. Well done. That's bloody great.
That's,
Oh boy, one of our under 18s.
Interesting work. I think Adcock knew the penalty was coming and I kind of gave up on it. Finney, he wants to go.
What's with the chip? Here we go. Doesn't
Tries to shake it. Oh,
a little shoulder in there.
Yeah, no, that's just a shoulder. Finney's going to ask the question. That's
have we blown
Kane Golding.
Oh, we have
Well, he's gone straight to the pocket.
Yeah. Can't have that, son. That'll do. Early night for you.
Just a yellow one, but it's as good as a red. We won't see him again. So they're going to end a player to the good. He's done it right in front of the referee as well.
Yeah, that's just silly. First round's on him. Easy.
Well, look. Discipline from Onkaparinga has just let them down a little bit. There's no arms in that one, so much so that Roasty nearly fell off his chair.
It's untidy line out.
A scrum to Onkaparinga. 2 minutes to go. You would think that this one is just beyond the reach, so I think it's possibly time to start talking about what we look like at the moment. We're round 4, so I think it's 10 rounds. So we're closing the half, reaching the halfway point of this one. At the moment, Old Collegians and Brighton look as if they are going to probably be the two who are around there.
Just something different.
Which then puts us in a really interesting proposition. As Onkaparinga look to come from their own 22.
Nice
Ormsby will just look for real
Roll it
estate.
out. That's a really nice kick.
If Finney knew where it was going, he's thinking about it again, but there's a penalty ball all the way back there.
In front of the kicker.
So where it gets interesting, I think at the moment for mine, Old Coles and Brighton, I would expect them to finish number 1 and number 2. I know it's only 4 rounds gone, but which then puts us in a really interesting spot between Burnside, Onkaparinga and Souths. We've talked about Souths for the last couple of years really knocking on the door, and I kind of feel, yes, they've been beaten by Old Collegians today, but if memory serves, Souths beat Onkaparinga at some point this year.
We've seen Souths play here a couple of times this year, both with the trial games and things like that. And what they do have is a really sharp back three. If they can manufacture and engineer more opportunities for those boys, they'll threaten sides. They will threaten sides, absolutely.
And as you've mentioned, you know, Onkaparinga have done enough to win this game. They have been the better side today, but playing against the South side that is up and about.
Oh, that'll be a really interesting game. I think it'll be a contrast in styles. Outside of old Jet Shoes Chapel out here, who's not out here, which is a disgrace. But anyway, you know, they've been playing. They've played a certain. They played a very direct game of rugby, I think.
Speaking of a direct game of rugby, Cargie will get over.
Yes, sir. There we go.
Probably nothing more than a consolation as we tick over into 80 minutes.
Oh, there's always a chance.
That's it now. He is a fully signed up member of the Backs Club. All you need to do now, Maxi boy, is kick your own conversion.
Have a shot.
In the Backs Hall of Fame. Well, he's actually come from a second row position.
Yeah,
that's where he's much more comfortable.
That's right.
Good, nice low running, and then over he goes.
He's a hard man to stop from there. When he got hit, what, maybe 3 metres out?
Yeah, he's big, strong runner.
Yeah.
Good to have that option.
Absolutely.
But certainly, it's going to be interesting between those three. You'd have to say, though, because the way it's going to go, top 4 will go into the Coopers Premier Grade. The next 4 will go into Division 1.
Yeah. And
the bottom 2 will have a longer pre-season than others. But you have to say, whoever finishes in 5th, you've got to nail them on as favourites for that Division 1 title, because that really is it is a top 5 now.
Absolutely. I mean, I think you do have those guys, those sides who are clearly better than the others, but there is a lot more competition for spots now, which is great for South Australian rugby, I think.
And a good kick, so 20 points, the final margin. Onkaparinga came up to Gleneagles reserve, did the job they needed to do and took away the points. So the game's going as we expected throughout most of the day. There was moments, particularly in the first 5 minutes, where we thought the day might be different, but then Onkaparinga got their hands on the ball, did what they did best, and they absolutely starved Woodville of possession and walk away with the 4 points from this one.
It's one of those things, isn't it? If Woodville score in those first 5, who knows what happens? But you've got to take your chances when you get them, and that's true for rugby forever and a day. Professionalism, amateurism, all the complications in the world. But if you take your chances and you play the basics well, you win more games than you lose.
That is certainly right. So we will stick a fork in this one. It is done. Like I said, Onkaparinga running out the winners. And next week, the 1st of August, as we hit August, we will see Onkaparinga take on Old Collegians down at Wilfred Taylor Reserve.
That'll be a good game.
And we hope you can join us as well. But from beautiful Gleneagles Reserve as the sun sets, I've been Dave Webb as per usual. Thank you very much for choosing to spend your afternoon with us, and we will see you again next week.